Roll Baby. So today I'm going to be talking about my favorite horror movies, since I love talking about movies, and I would consider horror my favorite genre, and it is October, so it is horror season. Let's just fucking get started. So the first movie on my list is Paranormal Activity. Basically the premise of this movie is, you probably already know, this couple, Mika and Katie, they start experiencing like paranormal activity in their home. So Mika buys a camera and they just start filming it. This movie holds like a little special place in my heart because this was probably the first horror movie that I can remember watching. I think it was like 8 or 9 when I watched it. I think it was 9 because I think the wide release was in 2009. And I fucking love this movie. I was like terrified the first time that I watched it. I still get terrified like watching it to this day. Like I get so tense watching these movies. Even though I know that nothing really happens for like a large portion of it, just literally, it's incredible. Oh, I just love watching these movies. I've seen the first 3 many times. Like I rewatched the first 3 so many times. I've seen the marked ones maybe like once or twice, but I love the marked ones. It got really bad reviews, which I don't know why. That's why you don't trust Rotten Tomatoes, because the Rotten Tomatoes score was like dumb low. But I fucking love that movie. It was incredible. The ending was, oh, loved it. Sometime this month, I will probably rewatch all the Paranormal Activity movies, and I might make a video about it. The next movie going along with like the found footage is The Blair Witch Project. I would probably consider this one of my top 10 like all-time favorite movies. I just thought it was so interesting, and like the backstory behind it and like the marketing. I fucking love these movies. I loved The Blair Witch Project, and I loved Blair Witch. I never watched Book of Shadows. I've heard from everybody it's very bad, so I don't know. It'll probably take me a while to watch. I'll probably watch it eventually. But yeah, I really like The Blair Witch Project. And then the one about Heather's brother, Blair Witch. They're basically the same story, just with different characters. They may be slow, they may be boring, but I fucking love them. The next is the Saw franchise. This is such a guilty pleasure. Like I love watching videos about like how they made these movies and how they make like the traps and how they do like the gore and like the special effects. I just love everything about these movies. Kind of ridiculous, like they really do get like ridiculous, but I can't help it. Like the more ridiculous they get, the more like intrigued I am. And I don't even know how many times there's this channel called Dead Meat, and they post kill counts of like a bunch of different horror movies, and I've watched the Saw kill count so many fucking times. I love the channel Dead Meat. I love Dead Meat podcast. I watch their videos. I listen to them all the time. Fucking love Dead Meat. But yeah, Saw movies, great. Guilty pleasure. I fucking love them. Next is Scream. And I'm talking about just Scream, like the first Scream. I like 2 and 3. They're not super rewatchable for me. Like all the movies on this list are so rewatchable for me, and that's why they're my favorites, because they're just really fun to watch and I can rewatch them over and over and never get bored. And the first Scream does that. Like I fucking love the first Scream. I think it's probably one of the best horror movies ever made, like filmmaking wise, and like writing, and like just the whole movie in itself is really great. But yeah, Scream, great. Fucking love that movie. Obviously, I love the movie. It's on this list. Next is Hostel. I really liked the first Hostel movie. I loved it. It made me feel so like on edge and so tense, like Paranormal Activity does, but in like a different way, kind of. It's about like these guys that are backpacking through Europe, and they stay in this hostel, and they become like brainwashed kind of, and like manipulated, and then I think they get like drugged at some point, and they get taken to like this like warehouse where these people, if you haven't seen it, like spoiler, these rich people like pay to like kill people. It's crazy. It's a crazy ass story. But yeah, I watched it because I heard a lot of like movie reviewers say, yeah, like if you like Saw, like you'll like Hostel too, like it's kind of the same thing. Which is not, I mean, I guess in like the gore aspects it is, and like the torture it is, but yeah, the first Hostel was like insane. Like it made me feel like so like uncomfortable in my skin, like after I watched it, like it was crazy. But I actually liked the second one more. I feel like the second one is more rewatchable than the first one, because I feel like the second one was just more like fun and like entertaining. I don't know. They're basically like the same stories. Like they kind of end differently, but they're pretty much like the same premise. But Both of them were great. I never saw the third one. I heard the third one wasn't very good, but I would like to watch it. So yeah. Next is, I'm gonna group these two movies together because Jordan Peele is literally fucking fantastic and literally a genius horror director. Get Out and Us. I loved both of these movies. Like, first time like watching them through, like I thought Get Out was fucking insane, like fantastic. And then Us, the first time I watched it, I remember liking it, but I remember not really knowing what I had just watched. But then after I got home and I started watching like all like the conspiracy videos and all like the videos like explaining it, I remember like, oh god, like this is fucking genius, like this is fantastic. It really gets better with every watch. Like I think I've seen Us maybe like 3 or 4 times and it's so good. Get Out, I've definitely seen like 7 or 8 times. Like I fucking love Get Out. Ugh, fucking genius, love it. Jordan Peele, fucking in love with you. Next is another franchise, Final Destination. I fucking love these movies. This was another series that scared me so much as a kid. Like I remember watching Final Destination 3 for the first time. I think it was actually the first Final Destination movie I watched. And I remember being terrified because as a kid I was very scared of roller coasters. And I watched Final Destination 3 and I was like, oh my god, like fuck, you'll never catch me on a roller coaster. And now I love roller coasters and I've been on this weird roller coaster like obsession recently. Like I've been watching like a bunch of like videos and like how like roller coasters like work and how like they're built and like the different like aspects. The other day I watched like this like 15-minute video on the different like restraints or like harnesses, restraints that they use in like roller coasters. They have like the hydraulic ones and they have like the ratchet ones and then they have, yeah, you don't fucking care, but I do because I've been on a big fucking, it's weird, like it's really so weird, but I've just been very interested by roller coasters recently. Yeah, the Final Destination movies, I love them. They're kind of ridiculous, but they're really fun to watch. They're so rewatchable, like they're fucking awesome. Love them. Next is The Shining. This is probably on everyone's favorite horror list. Like this is just such a good movie. And like Scream, like it's just a good like movie like in general. Like the whole like the writing, the acting, the filmmaking, incredible. Jack Nicholson in it is like crazy good. No pun intended, but he's fucking insane. Like he's so good in this movie. That reminds me, another one on this list, Silence of the Lambs. I didn't really think it was a horror movie until I was looking up horror movies to find out which ones I wanted to put on my list, and I saw Silence of the Lambs. I'm like, obviously I fucking love that movie. That's again probably top 10. Like I love Silence of the Lambs. I was thinking about Anthony Hopkins and how good he was as Hannibal Lecter. I always saw Silence of the Lambs as more of like an action like crime movie. I never really saw it as a horror movie. But now that I like think about it, it's like, yeah, it probably is a horror movie. It's like Cannibal, yeah, I can like bite it. It's like, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, it definitely could be a horror movie. But next is Carrie. The first time I watched Carrie, it was actually the 2013 version. It was one with Chloe Grace Moretz. And I loved it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I watched the one from the 1970s, and I was like, oh, this is even fucking better. The next movie on this list is It Follows. And I didn't expect to like this movie as much as I did, because usually when horror movies have really high scores on Rotten Tomatoes, they're not as good as people hype them out to be. I think It Follows has like a 96% or like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it really does deserve, like this movie is really fucking good. See about this like STD, and like if you get the STD then you start like seeing like these like people, like these like figures, and they're like trying to like kill you. It's a really cool movie, like it has like a really cool and like unique premise. I fucking love it. So yeah, It Follows. Really good. And then the last movie I have on this list is The Strangers. I watched this movie recently and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking fantastic. It's a very simple movie, but it puts me on edge so much. Like I remember like the whole time watching this movie, like I just had so much like dread. Like I was like, I know this is not gonna end well, and of course it like doesn't, but I love it. I love the way that it makes me feel. Like I really just love being on edge. I love that panicky feeling I get. I feel like everyone watches horror movies for that feeling, but The Strangers definitely gave me that. The second one, not too long ago, And I liked it. I thought it was really good. That's actually one of the scenes of that movie is probably one of my favorite horror scenes like I've ever seen. It's with the pool and the Total Eclipse of the Heart playing in the background. Incredible. Oh yeah, those are some of my favorite horror movies. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I might make another video about like my favorite movies of all time. I don't know, that would literally take me forever. Just make like a top 10 or even like a top 20. I've seen so many good movies. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.
Go to school just to eat a parent's food. Crunchy. Push my teacher right off her damn stool. Drop out cause I ain't no nerd. Loser. Doing meth with my whole damn herd. Squaggles. Moo moo, yes, we are some cows. Get out the way.